the country's national capital. No Big Bang announcement like March last year. But 98% of India is under some sort of a lockdown, localized or state-wise. This is to fight the second and a more devastating surge.
The pandemic's toll on the economic health is quite visible. Consumer sentiment has taken a huge hit after the devastating second wave. Retail shops are shut, though large factories are still working following COVID protocol and transportation between states is going on. But in a country like India, where 60% of the GDP runs on consumer sentiment, the economy will be hurt regardless.
Worrying signs have emerged in the formal sector. The Centre for Monitoring Indian Economy has placed the country's unemployment rate at a 4-month high, with more than 7 million jobs lost last month. Of them, more than 3.5 million were salaried employees.
A secular decline in salaried jobs. Between January 21 and April 21, nearly 9 million salaried jobs were lost. So that's really big. And in April, we saw 3.84 million salaried jobs getting lost. So that's the secular decline I worry about.
With tighter virus restrictions in place again, various rating agencies have downgraded India's growth from previous projections. Prospects of recovery aren't as bullish as they were a couple of months ago.
It's going to be fairly tough times for us this year because overall consumption is going to be retarded, primarily on account of limited growth in jobs, limited growth in income, and to top it all, more expenditure on health and healthcare, which means there's less money left for discretionary spending. So I think this all fits into this picture of saying that growth is going to be lower at around 9.2%. Of course, there's always a downward bias because today we are trying to hypothesize as to how the virus would pan out, how the lockdowns would work out.
The back office of the world's financial industry, for instance, is battling a ferocious rise in the number of cases.
Soaring cases in Bengaluru have impacted work-from-home operations of several global companies. Many employees are either reporting sick or attending to family emergencies.
Unlike the first wave, the second has penetrated the villages deeply. Earlier this month, an SBI research reported that the share of rural districts in new cases has increased to 48.5% in May as compared to 36.8% 2 months ago.
This time, I think the cases are increasing in rural India, and they can disrupt rural activity, which is now about 50% of India's GDP. Takes place comes from the rural part of India. So I think that needs to be monitored very carefully.
For now, though, the restrictions don't threaten to derail the economy completely. They're instead expected to help break the chain of transmission. But full immunity to humans and the national economy perhaps depends on how this period is used to inoculate the population. Bureau Report, India Today.